So just share the animated video. Yeah, this is the video. Just have a glance at it.
Comparison of business, profession and employment. Rekha and Tom have been classmates in class 10. On completion of exams, they meet at Neetu's house, who happens to be their common friend. Just when they were sharing their experiences of examination days, Neetu's father, Mr. Ravi Kumar, businessman by profession, joins in their conversation.
Hello everyone. You people are looking very relaxed and happy after your exams.
Yes, we are.
Great. It seems that all of you are happy with your performances in the examination. By now, I am sure you must have closed in on your career decision.
Uncle, I am little confused about my career plan. I am in a dilemma whether to become a doctor by profession or complete graduation and become a businessman.
We too are not sure about the career we can pursue in the future.
Dad, please enlighten us on the options available to us. It will really help us to select a suitable career.
Okay, first things first. You must be aware that in every society, people undertake several activities to satisfy their needs. It may be cultivating land, preparing food, studying in a school, teaching in a college, working in an office, and so on. These activities may be broadly classified into two groups: economic activities and non-economic activities.
Uncle, what are economic activities and how are they different from non-economic activities? Economic activities and non-economic activities.
The human activities that are undertaken with an objective to earn money or livelihood are called economic activities, whereas the other types of activities that are performed out of love, sympathy, patriotism, and so forth are called non-economic activities. Economic activities may be further divided into three categories: business, profession, and employment.
Dad, what are these activities?
Have patience. I will explain everything to you, but one at a time.
Business.
Look at a shopkeeper nearby. What does he do? He buys products in bulk and sells the same in small quantities. He also earns some profit in the process. He is said to be engaged in business and is called businessman, as he performs his activities regularly to earn profit. Thus, the term business refers to those economic activities which are connected with the production or purchase and sale of goods or supply of services with the main object of earning profit.
Profession.
I am sure the term doctor does not need any explanation. Who are they and what do they do? The term doctor refers to individuals who have undergone special training to examine patients, find out the ailment if any, and treat them for the same. They charge a fee from the patients for the same. Doctors are professionals by nature. Similarly, teachers, lawyers, engineers, and accountants also engage in different kinds of profession. They are all known as professionals. Thus, profession is an activity which requires special knowledge and skill to be applied by an individual to earn a living. Such activities are generally subject to guidelines or codes of conduct laid down by professional bodies.
Employment.
You must have also met people going regularly to offices, factories, or firms for work. Let's take an example of a postman. A postman is in employment with the Department of Posts. His primary job is to deliver letters and posts to individuals and organizations named therein. In this case, the Department of Posts is the employer and the postman is the employee. Postman works on the basis of certain terms and conditions and gets a monthly salary in return. Hence, we can define employment as the occupation in which people work for others and get remunerated in return.
Comparison of business, profession and employment.
Uncle, how are these activities different from each other?
We can distinguish business, profession, and employment on the following basis.
In a nutshell, business refers to those economic activities which are connected with the production or purchase and sale of goods or supply of services with the main object of earning profit. Profession includes those activities which require special knowledge and skills to be applied by individuals in their respective occupations. Employment refers to the occupation in which people work for others and get remunerated in return. Business, profession, and employment can be compared on the basis of mode of establishment, nature of work, qualification required, reward or return, capital investment, risk, transfer of interest, and code of conduct.
So, are you all clear now about the options available to you all?
Yes, we are. Thank you, Uncle.
I hope you got some idea what is profession, what is business, what is employment. Okay, now Aditi Jain she's there? Aditi
Yes,
Jain. Yeah.
yes,
Can you read from the PPT? I'll share the PPT now. Okay. Now,
sir.
can you read from the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes, sir. Profit
Yeah.
and gain from the business and provision.
Profession, right.
Professions.
Now, yeah, read it now.
Okay, sir. The following incomes are included under the head profit and gains of the business or professions.
Okay, right.
First point, profit and gains of any business or professions carried on the base by the SS at the time during the previous year. Second point, any compensation or other payments due to or received by any person in the connection with the determination of its management or the modification of the terms and conditions relating thereto at or in the connection with the determination of this termination on the assets, termination of his office or the modification of the terms and conditions relating to the in the connection with the determination of the agency, the modification of the terms and condition related to the income derived by a trade professional or a similar association from the specific service performed for its members.
Okay, Aditi Jain, can you conclude what you understood from this first PPT slide?
Sir,
Nutshell, in a nutshell, what you understood from this first slide?
sir, by profit earnings, when we will get the profit of the previous year, it will divide 1 minute, sir.
Yeah, okay. Take your own time. So you can say this: any compensation or any payment received due to the termination of his management, or the modification of the terms and conditions, or in connection with the termination of his office, or any modification of terms and conditions, or in connection with the termination of the agency, or modification of the terms and conditions. Okay, income derived by a trade professional or similar associations from specific services performed for its members. That means any income received with related to the business. These are the income received. Suppose if you terminate any condition, the other party has to pay to you. If you terminate the conditions, you has to pay to the other party. So all this come under the head profits and gains of business or profession. Now, that also includes profit and sale of license granted under the Imports Control Order 1955. Okay. Then cash assistance received or receivable by any person against exports under any scheme of the Government of India, any duty of customs or excise repaid, repayable, or drawback to any person against exports under customs and central excise duty drawback rules. This you might have studied in the foreign trade. What happens is that you might be getting the amount of, you might pay excise duty that will be refunded for some of the products that also classified as income from business. Okay? We can classify under the income from business. Then any profit on the transfer of duty entitlement passbook scheme. All these you might have studied in foreign trade in the first semester. Any profit in the transfer of duty-free replenishment certificate, the value of benefit or perquisites, whether convertible into money or not, arising from business or the exercise of profession. That means all these incomes are related to the business. We can classify as profits of a business. We can classify as under the head profits and gains from the business. Okay. Then these are different types of income we can classify as profit and gains from business. Any interest, salary, bonus, commission. It may not be profit, it may be also the expenditure or remuneration by whatever name is called, due or received by a partner of the firm from such firm. Suppose any partner receives interest or salary or bonus or commission, it will be classified as profits and gains from business. Now, any sum received under key man insurance policy, including the sum allocated by owners on such policy. That insurance policy is taken on business. If anything happens to the business, the insurance policy will pay you the amount. That is called the key man insurance policy. That is, policy is applicable only to the business firm, not to the individual. Any amount received from an insurance policy, that will be classified as profits and gains from the business. Then any sum, whether received or receivable in cash or kind under any agreement for carrying out or not carrying out any activity in relation to any business, or these are the things you get income. Suppose if you want to carry out any activity, you may get some income, or you don't want to carry any activity, the other party will give you the share of income. Again, not sharing any know-how, patent, copyright, trademark, license, franchise, or any other business commercial right of similar nature. Any sum received or receivable on account of any capital assets being demolished, destroyed, discarded, or transferred, if the whole expenditure of such capital assets has been allowed, deduction section 35 AD. This, all these are categorized as income, profit, and gains from the business under the head profits and gains from business or profession. Okay. Let's see, then we define business and profession. Already you've seen animated video. What is business or profession? The term business is defined to include any trade, commerce, manufacture. It includes trade, commerce, manufactures, or any adventure or concern in the nature, commerce, or manufacture. Now, the definition is not complete. It covers even an occupation carried on by a person with able to earning profit. That is about definition of business. And the word business would mean there's some real, substantial, and systematic or organized course of activity, and it should be profit motive. Okay. If it is not profit motive, it is not called the business. This is a definition of business given by the Income Tax Act 1961. Now, trade. What is trade? Trade means exchange of goods for goods or goods for money. If it is a goods for goods, it is called barter system. Okay. Then it is also signified as is kind of repeated activity in the nature of business carried with profit motive. What is a commerce? If a person purchases goods with a view to sell them at profit, it is an ordinary case of trade. Okay. If such transactions are repeated on a large scale, it is called the commerce. Then, in determining the case of trade or commerce, crucial issue is that of investment. One has to take into account the nature of assets, the occupation of SSC, the frequency and volume of transactions to designate trading for commercial activity. So they define what is trade, what is commerce, what is business, what is profession, also by seeing in animated video. The manufacture. What is manufacture? Making of articles or materials by converting physical labor or mechanical power. That what is manufacturing. Essence of manufacturing is that something is produced or brought into existence which is different from that of which is made. In the sense that the thing produced is itself a commercial commodity which is capable of being sold or supplied. Okay, means an activity that original article or thing resulting in transport. These are the meaning of manufacture given. And covering the theory part, without theory part, we cannot do any problems now in this chapter. Now, profession. I think you can write in your own words what is profession. It includes any vocation. Okay, the term profession involves the concept of an occupation requiring intellectual skill or manual skill controlled directed by the intelligent skill of the operator. The profession is normally associated with the exercise of intellectual or technical equipment resulting from the learning or service. Profession includes or involves occupation requiring purely intellectual or manual skill. Okay. Now, can you tell me, is a teaching is a profession or employment or a business? Anyone? Is teaching is a profession? Does
Yes,
not. Yes. Okay. Right.
profession.
Okay. Now, the following receipts are taxable even if no business or profession is carried by the SSA during the previous year. Okay. That means you are not carried on any business activity in the previous year, but your firm is continuing. Your name is there, the firm name is there, but you are not carrying out any business activity. But still, you may get some benefit. That benefit or that receipts are taxable. What are that? Recovery or excess recovery against the deductions claimed earlier. Okay, earlier you have claimed some deductions, but that may be shortage of recovery or excess recovery. Next is sale of an asset used for scientific research. These are the incomes you receive even without any business activity. These incomes are taxable even though you are not doing any business activity in the previous year, 1920. Amount withdrawn from a reserve created under the section 36(1), subsection 8. Some received after discontinuance of business or profession. These are the incomes, but these incomes are not from the carrying out business activity. It is, you are not carried any business activity, but still your name of the firm is there, but you received the income from these categories. That is also taxable under the head profits and gains of business and profession. The term income, profits or gains, it is not a tax on gross receipts. The profit of a trade or business is surplus by which the receipts of trade from the trade or business exceeded the expenditure necessary for the purpose of earning those receipts. Okay, so what is profit, what is gain? I think you might have learned continuously in the last semesters. What difference between profit and gain? Okay, so any anticipated or potential profits or losses which may occur in future are not considered for arriving at taxable income of previous year. So in this category, in this chapter, we don't consider anticipated profits or anticipated losses. Okay, so that we exclude those things. We don't include in the taxable income of the previous year. Okay, next, even you are getting income from illegal business, that is taxable. That means that is not exempted from the tax. Okay, they don't see the legality of illegality. Even if you earn income from smuggling business, that is also taxable. Okay, or illegal profession you are earning income, that is also taxable. The Income Tax Act does not differentiate which is legal, which is illegal. Both are taxable on the same tax rates, on the same rates. They will see both as a one coin, both in the one angle. So it is not appropriate for them to differentiate what is legal or illegal. Both are kept together. On both you have to pay the taxes. Now, what is business loss? No, these are the losses, some of the losses that can be allowed as deduction from your income. The conditions are there. The loss should be revenue in nature. It should not be capital in nature. You know what is revenue and capital. What is revenue expenditure, capital expenditure? I need not again repeat that. You know already. Okay. The losses should be incurred during the previous year. Okay. We are calculating for the previous year. And you are paying tax in the current year. That is assessment year. Okay. The losses incurred 2 years back, we don't consider that. Only losses will be considered only that is incurred in the last year, the previous year. Then the loss should be incidental to the business. It should be related to the business or profession carried on by the assessor. And the loss should not be notional or fictitious. Okay, it should not be duplicate or it should not be anticipated one. Okay, the loss should have been actually incurred and not merely anticipated to incur in future. That means we don't consider anticipated losses are not considered. Okay, and there should not be any direct or indirect restrictions under the Act against the deductibility of such losses. So these are the conditions. Suppose you're claiming as a business loss. These are the conditions you have to fulfill in order to claim as a business loss. Now there are examples are given you. What are the losses can be deducted from your business income? The first loss of stock in trade due to destruction by fire. Suppose your stock caught fire accidentally, you can claim that loss as a deduction. Loss of stock in trade by an act of God. If there is an earthquake, tsunamis, okay, any act, any riots, okay, any disturbances, you can claim the deduction. Loss of stock in trade due to theft. If somebody stole your products, you can claim that loss as a deduction. The loss on account of advances given to employees' welfare, cooperative stores, which becomes irrecoverable. Now, what happened as a owner of business, you might be giving advance to the employee, some employee, and he did not repay it back. That loss can also be claimed as a deduction. Then loss of cash due to theft. If somebody stole your cash, that can be claimed as a deduction. Now, depreciation funds kept in foreign currency due to foreign exchange fluctuation. What you know, I again repeatedly I told you that you learn in foreign trade what is foreign exchange currency fluctuation. If the Indian rupee value decreases and you got a loss, that loss can be claimed as a deduction. Similarly, if there's a devaluation of rupee in foreign country, that loss also can be claimed as a deduction. Loss of rupee compared to the currency value of foreign currencies. Loss due to embezzlement by an employee. So employee do some fraud in your business or some 420 things in a business, that loss I can also claim as a deduction. Loss incurred on account of insolvency of banker which the current account is maintained. Suppose you are incurred a loss because due to the banker, that loss can also be claimed as a deduction from the business income. These are the general losses which may be claimed as a deduction in the business income. Again, continuously. Loss incurred due to sale of lands acquired from business debtor satisfaction debt. Suppose you incurred a loss, you sold a land for business purpose, not for personal purpose, but by selling land you incurred some losses. That can also be claimed as deduction. Similarly, loss on account of non-recovery of advances given by the SSC to its subsidiary company. That means, you know what is a subsidiary company? Okay, any advance given to subsidiary company not able to recover, that can be claimed as a loss as a deduction from the business income. Loss arising from sale of securities, shares or debentures held in the regular course of business, you can claim that loss also. The loss arising due to non-realization of the loan advance to the importer. Okay, loss of cash and securities in banking company on account of dacoity. Okay, somebody looted your cash or somebody looted your securities. Some thief looted your cash or securities. That loss can also be called as deduction. Loss incurred due to forfeiture of deposits made for essential accommodation of employees of the SSC of the company. So all these losses can be claimed as a deduction from the business income. Now, there are some losses which cannot be claimed as a deduction. What are those losses? Loss of advances made for setting up a new business which ultimately could not be started. Suppose you given an advance for establishing a new business firm but could not be started. That loss cannot be claimed as deduction. Okay. Next, depreciation of funds kept in foreign currency for capital purpose. Okay, suppose your funds are kept in foreign currency, but that funds are depreciated for capital purposes. That loss cannot be claimed as deduction. Next, loss arising from non-recovery of tax paid by an agent on behalf of the non-resident. And then anticipated future losses cannot be claimed as deduction. Loss relating to any business profession discontinued. Any business or profession discontinued before the commencement of previous year. That means before the previous year losses, you cannot claim as a deduction. Loss of security deposits made to obtain selling agency, you cannot claim as a deduction. Provision made by SSC in respect of non-performing assets. That provisions for bad debts, a provision for doubtful debts, you are studied in the final accounts. All these are anticipated losses. All the anticipated losses cannot be claimed as a deduction from business income. So these are the general losses which cannot be claimed as a deduction from the business income. Now in the business, there are two methods of accounting. I think you might have heard that. One is cash system of accounting. Next one is mercantile system of accounting. Can you tell me what different cash system and mercantile system? Anyone? These are two methods of accounting they are following in the business. One is cash system of accounting, mercantile system of accounting. Can you explain what is cash system, mercantile system? You have studied in the previous semester accounting classes. Anyone from the class, can you explain what is a cash system of accounting? What is a mercantile system of accounting? Anyone? Yes, Nikhil. Nikhil. Nikhil is there or is absent now? Nikhil. Mr. Nikhil. Nikhil is absent. Diksha Sharma, can you explain what is a cash system of accounting and mercantile system of accounting? Diksha Sharma.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between cash system of accounting and mercantile system of accounting?
I guess in cash system of accounting, when the expenses are occurred, now we have to then and then record in the books.
Very good.
And in mercantile system of accounting, I have doubt in this. 1 minute.
Okay. Liara will explain what is a cash system and mercantile system. Liara. Liara. Liara is there or not? Liara, 31 roll number section A. Liara. Section A, 31 roll number. Okay.
In mercantile, is it one like you have to record with there and then?
Okay. Avinash shared something. Liara is not opening her mouth. Liara, 31 roll number A section. Liara. What I do, I'll delete her. I remove from the meeting. She's not responding. No. So Diksha is sold partly correctly to some extent. What is a cash system, mercantile system? Okay. Salary paid. Salary paid. Where do you record? Do we record in both the systems? Salary paid. Do you record?
So we record it only in cash system accounting, but not in
mercantile system. Salary paid, transaction, salary paid.
We won't record in mercantile.
We won't record.
Because salary is paid once in a month. So, and mercantile is like we need to record all the transaction.
Okay. Next, salary payable. Where do you record? Salary payable. Which system of accounting do you record? Cash or mercantile? Salary payable. Salary payable. Do you record in cash system or mercantile system? Salary payable.
Cash.
Salary payable.
Cash.
Again, I have to explain.
So it's a liability, sir. We won't record in any of the system. It will directly go in balance sheet.
Where do you record in cash system or mercantile system?
So it's a liability, I guess. So.
Okay, you might be recording in some accounting system, no?
Cash system.
You record salary payable cash system. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Tomorrow come back to me and somebody asked me assignment. I want giving an assignment. You have to share the screen or send me through the WhatsApp. What is the differentiation of cash system and mercantile? Pick some examples. I want at least 5 examples. Anybody want to submit the assignment? Please submit to the WhatsApp group or share it in the screen. What is the difference between cash system and mercantile system of accounting? Okay, let me know. Tomorrow, by today evening, I have to receive the information in WhatsApp group. Okay.
Can you repeat the question, sir?
What is the difference between cash system of accounting and mercantile system of accounting with examples? With examples.
What is different cash system and
mercantile system of accounting with examples?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So I want in one page full information. Okay. So let me know. Unless you know what is the correct difference between these two systems, we cannot do problems under this chapter. Okay. Now, if you maintain your books of accounts according to mercantile system, slightly you have to treat different way. If you maintain a books and cash system, you have to treat in different way. Okay. Now, normally nothing is mentioned in the problem. By default, you have to treat as that business in maintaining mercantile system of accounting. Okay. I want to tomorrow by today evening, or you want to share it tomorrow, you want to explain tomorrow on the virtual screen, you can do it. Or by today evening, I want to have one full page assignment, difference between these two systems of accounting. Okay. So I need to, by today evening, I need to have this, or want to share it tomorrow, you can share it tomorrow. Okay. So we'll continue. A lot of theory to cover in this topic. Don't miss any theory. Okay. So I'll continue further in the tomorrow class. Let me know whether you can share it tomorrow, assignment work tomorrow or not. Or you can send the material, send the notes, take the screenshot, send the notes, and mainly post me in the WhatsApp group.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Or you want to share it tomorrow, share it tomorrow. We'll continue tomorrow class. I'll take your attendance.